What's going on, everybody? I was playing Strikers a little bit this season, and I have to say at this point of the game, competitive play has gotten very stale. And I got to thinking about why this is, and there's a lot to talk about regarding the state of competitive play, so let's just get right into it. First of all, I would like to point out that in a way, I've always been a meta player when I do competitive matches. I learned pretty early on that cross passes and free passes were busted, and even made tutorials on them as soon as I got into playing Strikers Club to make sure you are also aware of the strategy. My win rate online has always been higher than 50% when I'm playing Strikers Club for this reason, and as much as I don't want to admit it, that's because I use overpowered offensive strategies. My defense isn't even that good. I don't even pretend that it's that good. But it never had to be because the cross passes that I do on offense are so hard to stop, I was just able to score more goals in 4 minutes. This start of the video is important to talk about because I don't want it to seem like I'm just complaining about playing against better players and losing more often. It's better that you know up front that I've been invested in the meta for a while, and quite honestly, I've never been a fan of it even when I'm winning. That brings me into the first bit of meta I want to talk about, which is cross passes on offense. I think that the developers messed up big time when they made free passing as strong as it is. It's almost impossible to defend against. It's gotten to the point where if a ball is anywhere in this region of the field, you have an instant goal set up just by passing it to your teammate at the top of the box. Boom Boom just doesn't get into position fast enough to stop cross passes, and it's by far the most consistent way to score. You may think, okay, well, now it falls on the defense, but it's still an impossible situation. Let's slow down a pass to see exactly what I'm talking about. This right here is the first frame of the pass. The defense has just 52 frames to react to this pass, and that's including the freeze frames from the perfect pass animation. This leaves the defense to now take control and read 3 things in that small amount of time. They have to read which direction the pass is going, which direction the opponent's CPU is running, and which direction to hold for a tackle. You may be able to predict it sometimes, but in general there are so many moving parts that more than likely you are going to do everything right and still be left in the dust by the pass. Not only that, but the perfect free pass is not interceptable, and it also pushes you aside to stop the tackle. This leaves the defense with very limited options, which is incredibly frustrating when you consider how likely the ball is to go in. Even if the defense does play perfectly and knock out the recipient of the pass, the team still gets an item which will probably lead to a turnover as soon as you get the ball back anyway. And that will bring me into the next idea of item balance. I still don't know why the opponent gets 2 items upon getting scored on, when items go a long way in the ability to score goals and cause turnovers. Most of the games I played against even players end up being a match decided by who was losing most of the game and used their free items better. I wish there was a feature to only get items when you get tackled, otherwise there's a lot of RNG involved in how items are distributed. Speaking of RNG, hyperstrikes are also up there with how game-changing they can be. There's not much to talk about here because you know the problems. The slow-mo makes it impossible to react even if you toss an item. It also disrupts your ability to charge a tackle and get the distance necessary to stop it. You can throw items while you're in the middle of the hyperstrike, so even one item can make it a guaranteed 2 goals. In concept, I don't have a problem with hyperstrikes being in the game. I like having some kind of 2-goal mechanic to make comebacks possible. But the way that they're designed just makes it so whoever has the hyperstrike has even more advantage on offense, which is already too strong. A lot of this is only possible because the field is so small. I think if the field was larger like it was in Super Mario Strikers on the GameCube, or even Mario Strikers Charge, passes would not be as strong and it would be easier to get into position to play defense. But since Battle League has such a small field, it seems like one small mistake, one missed tackle, one laggy dodge, will lead to a free lane to the goal every time. The way everything is designed points towards an incredibly offense-heavy sport. The defense is left trying incredibly hard to stop the easiest of goals, while the offense has limitless opportunities to score. I haven't even touched on death lobs or Titans chips, which as far as I can tell have just simply been sworn off by the community, because even in high-level play, I don't see it often. In a competitive game, everyone should be willing to try their hardest to win, not narrowly avoiding legitimate strategies to make the game more interesting. Unfortunately, I don't have a single fix for all of these problems. Maybe this game was always going to end up in this situation with a stale meta, or maybe it was a couple of design flaws from the development team. But either way, I still enjoy jumping in and playing a couple matches once in a while. While the meta will eventually even out to become a boring, stale potato chip, at least I can say it's a fun game that I wouldn't mind coming back to once in a while, even after I move on. This isn't the last video I'm making about Strikers. I will still be playing some competitive matches and whatever guides I can think of, such as when new characters come out or when there's new balance patches or whatever of that sort. But as you've probably already seen, I've been experimenting with Splatoon 3 content, so if anything, I will still be active on YouTube for all of you members in my community. As much as I love this game, it's not something I can continue making content daily for a long period of time. If I wanted to do that, I would play Mario Maker. That's all I have for this video. I hope you understand where I'm coming from because it's a tricky situation getting bored with the meta of a game. Thank you for watching and have a nice day.